Hello, this is Anthony Giarrusso on this 8/22 2025, and I remembered my dream. This was a very short dream as well, but it was kind of interesting because Donald Trump was in it. I first saw myself in kind of a void of white light, if I remember correctly. And I saw myself, and I was wearing beige trousers, brown shoes, and I think I had kind of like a dark green Hawaiian shirt kind of thing with the buttons in the front. But I had like the like some different colors of greens, and I think I had like palm tree type stuff on the print of that shirt. And then I remember myself seeing it came into focus from the white light into a room, like a board meeting room. And it had this beautiful, it looked like a mahogany table, and it was styled very nicely. Like it was like a high end, probably something that millionaires or billionaires would probably have in their company. Like it was a very fancy mahogany table. And there were all these black, either leather or vinyl rolly chairs. You know, the ones with like the 5 wheels on the bottom. And I remembered I was like the first person in there. And we were about to have a meeting. And then a whole bunch of people showed up. But I don't remember them coming through the door. It's like they just kind of showed up like through the same kind of light source that I did. And we all sat down at this business style meeting place. I remember it had a carpeted floor. It had kind of like beigey yellow colored paint around the walls and a white ceiling. And I remember seeing a projector and one of those projector screens that you can like roll up. A lot of classrooms would have that. And I remember seeing like a whiteboard where you could do like the markers and stuff. It was like one of those big whiteboards. And that was up on one of the walls. And everyone was wearing like really nice clothes. Most people were wearing a suit. I did not recognize anyone else. There was one other man who was wearing a similar button-down Hawaiian shirt, but I don't remember what color it was. I think his was more like a blue, but I don't remember what color pants or anything he was wearing. Most of the people who had suits, I believe they all had either black or blue suits. Donald Trump was there. He was the only person I recognized. And he sat adjacent to me on the other side of the table. He was not at the head of the table or anything. He was just kind of like in the middle, but kind of adjacent. Diagonally. And I don't remember exactly what the meeting was about, but I remember it had something to do with business, but I don't exactly remember what kind of business it really was or what exactly was said in the meeting. I just remember having the meeting. I also remembered that I was looking at Donald Trump and he was talking about something, and I was very, very fascinated. Like, I was really fascinated by whatever he was saying. And I was also very fascinated by these other old guys. There was like some people that looked older than Trump, and some people that looked younger than Trump. I believe that I was the youngest person in that dream. And then the dream went to like a cutscene of me being with me and my parents, my adopted family parents, and we're in Africa in these big black bulletproof type vehicles. And it was definitely the shape, these vehicles that were in Africa that my family was in and I was in, and there were like others driving behind us and in front of us. The closest that I saw in my dream would be, look it up if you must, the Paramount Group Matla. It's spelled Maatla. Look it up on Google so you can know what it looks like. And they were all painted black. Okay. This vehicle was a little bit smaller than their Marauder. I think that's how it's pronounced. But it was the Maatla one from Paramount Group, spelled just like Paramount for the movie industry, but this is military equipment. And we were in these vehicles going through the African jungle, and there were like trees everywhere. It was very dense, whatever it was, but it looked like the roads were already like made, and they were like really bumpy, and they had like mud and everything in it. It was crazy. And we're driving, or being driven. Our family was kind of like in the back of the armored vehicle. And we're being driven through, kind of like in a convoy of vehicles, through Africa. And then somehow, I don't know how, but there's like another convoy coming the opposite direction. And I guess this road was just wide enough for these military vehicles to do that. It was just really strange. And I'm thinking, for some reason, I thought I saw like a blonde-haired man, but I wasn't sure. And he was going in the opposite. He was in the back of one of these armored vehicles going the opposite direction in Africa. Well, it turns out in the dream that I decided to go. There was like another meeting. I'm in that meeting room again. And I decided, because there was nobody there, I'm going to sit in the chair right next to Donald Trump. And then everyone came in for the meeting, and the guy who came in, he just sat down. He never said anything to me. And Donald Trump sat in his spot, and he asked me, why would I go and sit in this guy's chair? And I told him, it's because I have brass balls to come here and the audacity to go and sit in this chair next to you. And in the dream, I don't know, I think in real life, Donald Trump would probably tell me it's disrespectful, go back and sit in your chair, honestly. But in the dream, he respected me for me saying that for some reason. And he told me that he remembered seeing me being in that convoy going the opposite direction as him, because he was in that convoy of armored vehicles going the opposite direction. Then, for some reason, I said I had to leave and go to the mall to do some business because the mall was going to close at 9 o'clock p.m. And it was like, I don't know, like just after 8:10 p.m. somewhere. I don't know. I think it was closer to like 8:19. I don't know. For some reason, I felt like it was 8:19. I don't know why. But that's what it was in the dream. Or at least how I felt it was in the dream. So I told Donald Trump, and he said, all right, go do your business. That's very important to do your business. And then I left the meeting, went down like some stairs that were like really fancy. And the whole lobby had like a big chandelier, and it had like kind of reddish brown and beige tiles. It was very fancy. And I walked out and I got into a vehicle. However, I don't remember what the vehicle was I was driving, or what the color was, or the shape of the vehicle. I just remembered I was behind a steering wheel and I was driving. And there was glass in front of me, but I don't remember anything about the vehicle, which is weird. And it started raining, and I'm driving this vehicle. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go take this road to get to the mall. I know how to get to the mall. And then I ended up getting lost in this city. And it was like really European kind of looking. Maybe it was a part of Africa. I don't know where the heck I was. And I'm like taking all these wrong turns. No matter how hard I wanted to get to the mall, I couldn't get there. So I just had to clear my mind. I looked and it's like, oh my goodness, it's almost 8:45. I gotta go drive straight to the mall. So I ended up driving this vehicle straight to the road where the mall was. I never reached the mall or the mall parking lot, but I could see the mall and I could see the mall parking lot. And then I woke up from the dream. That's a really bizarre dream remembered. I'm Anthony Giarrusso. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.